Hello, this is going to be a discussion of what we'll be doing during week two of our course. The main focuses of week two and of this discussion will be the explain it assignment, the rhetorical modes that you'll be using in the explain it assignment, and the basics of APA style. And I want to make sure everyone realizes that, again, this is just an introductory discussion. You'll still need to do the readings and the various exercises that are related to the parts of this discussion. This is simply me making sure that you know what you'll be focusing on for the week. First, the explain it assignment. This is a chance to practice targeted, focused writing. It will eventually become a short oral presentation, but that isn't until week three, so don't worry about that right now. We'll be paying attention to style here. Specifically, we'll be working to keep the writing simple to counterbalance content that might become complex based on what you decide that you're going to be writing about for your explain it piece. As much about what is in this short essay response as it is what isn't in it. That is to say, we'll be working very hard for the writing of the explain it assignment to only include details that are necessary for understanding what you've chosen to explain and to make sure that we're not including anything that isn't absolutely necessary for the understanding of your topic. Now, topics can come from a list of possibilities or can be one of your own. If you plan to write about your own topic, I encourage you to email me ahead of time so I can approve it, just to make sure that the topic you've chosen will work for the assignment as it's written. Make sure that you choose a topic that requires no, I repeat, no research on your part. We'll get to research writing later, but we don't need to add that variable into the writing yet. This is about your writing about a specific topic, not about how other people have written about that topic. Again, just to reiterate and emphasize, choose something that does not require you to do research on your own. We'll do research later, but that's not what we're doing now. The primary rhetorical mode to be used in this essay is process analysis. Now, I'm hoping that you've watched the video on rhetorical modes that's also been posted to Blackboard. You'll remember that a process analysis piece has as its main idea that the end outcome or end meaning, holistically speaking, of whatever it is that you are explaining comes from the way that the individual stages, steps, or points all relate to each other. So, after you've chosen your topic, begin planning your essay with the main stages, steps, or points of the topic that you choose to write about. Decide exactly what it is that you'll be writing about and how you'll subdivide it into those stages, steps, or points. Each of them will become one paragraph or section of the essay that you write. Consider the needs and knowledge of your reading audience. What aspects of your topic does the average reader of your age, background, and educational level already know, versus what is it that they will need to have explained further? I want to emphasize here that when we think about the reading audience, we're thinking about someone who is basically like we are. And just to repeat what those characteristics are, we're thinking about that audience as being roughly the same age, having roughly the same background, and basically the same educational level as we do. Your thesis statement must pertain to a process analysis, and it needs to be there, number one. There needs to be some controlling main idea. So we'll be asking what is the most important aspect of how the topic, when broken down into its main stages, steps, or points, for a reader to understand so that the entire topic is more easily understood. Based on the main idea in the thesis statement, we have to ask what aspects of these specific stages, steps, or points need to be described? What aspects of these specific stages, steps, or points need to be narrated? Now, I say these things in this way because, again, if you remember from the discussion of rhetorical modes, the modes come down to what the examples are and how we use them. The two chief ways in which we construct examples are by describing them in specific ways given our end results, and by narrating them in specific ways given our intended end results. Next, we'll be starting to practice APA style, but only some of it. The usage of all aspects of APA style is really only called for in the case of research writing. That's because of the fact that APA, and APA is short for the American Psychological Association, really has to do with how the research happens in the field, and it's written by researchers for researchers. Now, we're not really either one of those, but down the road, as we do research of our own, we'll sort of pretend to be researchers in a field, even if we're not reading other people's publishing articles yet. For now, though, um, there are specific aspects of APA style that we're not really going to bother with at this point. And those include the things that are really only useful if, again, we're writing for other researchers. That includes the title page, the abstract, in-text citations, and end citations. We'll get to those later, but for this assignment, we're not really going to bother with them yet. However, aspects of APA style do apply to writing that is not specifically research writing for others to conduct their research with, and it'll be those aspects of APA style that we'll begin using here. If you've ever been introduced to either style, APA or MLA, these are going to seem familiar because for the most part, they're actually common to both. Those include double spacing, 8.5 by 11 paper, and that's really just a formality. We'll be doing all of our submissions online anyway. 1-inch margins, 12-point font, preferably Times New Roman, a running head, and the running head consists of left justified title in capital letters, 100 characters or less. And finally, we'll have page numbers on the right-hand side of the head.